Hey, what's going on, Switch Gears family? Back in the garage again. I think this is episode 3 for the Cholo build. Cholo Chronicles, whatever you want to call it, but we're having fun. As you can look right now, I've already put the front end together. I knew I was supposed to do it on camera, but again, I'm working by myself. But I'm not working by myself today. Today I got riding and sliding with JBAKE. Go check his channel out. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber, putting out a lot of great content, and I'm so happy to have him in the Switch Gears garage today, helping me out. So as you can see over here, we got the entire lower front end done. We got brand new chrome tins here, chrome Harley Davidson lowers, and in the inside we got progressive lowering shocks. So we're going to sit about 2 inches low here, and we're going to also do the same thing for the rear. But today, and I kind of got the front fender here just mocked up. I kind of want to see how everything is going to look. I have nothing tightened down right now, but man, does she look good. This bike is going to come out fantastic. But let's get into today's video, which is installing and wiring new handlebars, ape hangers. So for a lot of you that have went to ape hangers already, you know that the most important thing when you switch over to ape hangers is replacing your factory bushings with polyurethane bushings. So I got a pair of urethane bushings here from Drag Specialties for the bike, and we're going to be yanking out these factory ones here, and we're going to be putting in a new polyurethane bushing. And let me just give you a quick lesson on why. So the factory bushings for Harleys are for high or ape hangers. So just like leverage, the higher your bars go, the more leverage you have. So the factory bushings are very squishy. That's how come if you ever got on someone's bike with high handlebars and you feel a lot of vibration or it moves a lot within the handlebars, they didn't change the bushings out. You always want to go with a stronger bushing, which is a polyurethane bushing. They also make sometimes they make a steel bushing that you can get, all metal bushing, but I just go with the polyurethane ones. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is remove the clamps, and let me get JBAKE to come in for a little bit. I've already removed one side. So we'll just break this. And when you get ready to remove this part, you want to put your clamp back together because this will move independently. So you just put your clamp back on to hold it and bring your bolt down. And as soon as you do that, then the whole top clamp comes apart. You can move it to the side because you don't need it for now. And everything comes apart here, just like such. And I've already removed the other bolt. And we can just let this dangle to the side. Because what we're trying to focus on is the bushings. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna show you, you know what? Let's work on this side right here. Just show you how to do one side. You take that top clamp washer off, put it down. And right here, here's the factory bushings. Let me grab my screwdriver. All right, real time here. We're just gonna start slowly prying this bushing up to get it out. Might have been sitting there for a while. The bushing has a metal sleeve in the inside. So I'm just gonna start slowly working that sleeve out of there. That way I can get that bushing out of there. As you can see right here, it's starting to come out. Be careful here. Just take your time. Let me grab me some pliers. There it is. So there's that bottom bushing. We're gonna compare the two. And then here's that top. We need to clean that part out here. But basically, this is how your bushing goes inside of your bike. This metal sleeve will go in the middle, and the bushing sits around the sleeve. And that's where your riser bolts will go up through. And this lessens the vibration and everything that comes through the handlebars. These here actually look pretty good. A little nipped, a little chipped here, but we're gonna go with some urethane bushings and we're gonna show you the difference in the two. So let me just get these open. So we just put these to the side, and we will reuse this factory sleeve. Okay, so let's look at the difference. Factory right here, aftermarket here. So these are a little bit shorter and a little bit thicker on the top rings of them. And diameter here is more rubber on the side, but these are more narrow for more strength when it compresses together. As you can see, the hole spacing should be about the same. Let me make sure I got the right one. I got multiple ones. Well, actually, this hole spacing is smaller. Let me check my drawer for different ones. All right, I got another pair here. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So same size, a little bit thicker on the aftermarket, same hole diameter. Let's just double check to make sure that we can get the sleeve in. And we can. So a little bit tighter on this. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in here and work that down. But once we get that sleeve in there, we're just gonna install the new bushings in the inside, and then we're gonna go to polyurethane bushings besides the factory. So that's how you change the bushings. That's just gonna go in here. You're gonna work the sleeve up and then put the new bushing on the top. So let me get both of those sides changed out. Then we're gonna come back. I'm gonna show you how to wire the wires, extend your wires for longer bars, and then a little tips and tricks I have to get the wires going inside new bars. Stay tuned. We got the new bushings already set in, and now we're ready to take the factory control wires out. I've already did one side, like I said. So here's the left side, and it still ran in the bike. For the Softails, you're not going to be able to take the entire cable out because it still has the Deutsch connector on the bottom of it, which this is a Deutsch connector. And I'm going to show you what you need to do. You're going to need to depin this connector. So it's going to have this little safety in it. You just pull that out. Just place it down. And then let me get the camera to come over here. So these are the cables. As you were, these are the wires that go into the right side of the bike that controls all the right side wires. There are going to be 6 wires in there, and they're all color-coded, and they go inside of specific spots on the Deutsch connector. What I do is I take pictures of each side, and I don't know if you can see right there, it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what you do is just take a picture of the colors that go into each side, and then you start disconnecting them. So if you can look right down inside of here, the connectors for each one, they have a little tab here in the inside. You just get you something sharp like a pick. And what you want to do is pull that tab back. Once you pull that tab back, and then that wire comes out. So I'm going to take out this orange wire right here. So it would be this wire here. I'm going to pull back the tab and then pull down, and the wire's going to come out. So I'm going to show you again. I'll pull out this red one. As you can get right there, there's the tab. Pull that out and then pull down. Don't yank it. Make sure you don't break the wires. The wires will come out. Just take your time. Depin that. And they come out just like that. So let me go ahead and do all of these real quick while you guys are watching. And when we get to the last one, I'll try to show you again up close so you can see. I've already taken pictures of these so I know where they go. So right here, those little teeth in there, you pull that down and then the wire comes out. So now you have the wire disconnected. Maybe I can show you a little bit better here just to make sure you can see it. Right in the inside here, these little levers, they pull out and then the wire comes out. So you're gonna take that Deutsch connector, sit that to the side, and then now you can remove your factory wire set. So what needs to happen? Let's go ahead, let's keep it rolling, going real time. I'm not gonna do all of these on camera, but I'm gonna show you how I do them. So of course, these wires are long enough for the stock bars, but they would not be long enough for the 8-hangers that we're gonna install. So these wires need to be extended so you can run them through the bars and you can connect them to the bike. Very easy process. Let me show you how to do it. I used to do the old method where you cut, solder the wires, but Hill Country, let me show you this. I like to get these kits from Hill Country Customs. They're specific to the bike and they come color coded with the wires. So this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need the wires here. You're going to need a lighter. You're going to need some electrical tape, and I'm gonna show you why. You're gonna need your extended wires you're gonna get from Hill Country, and then you're going to need your heat shrink. And let me show you a couple of these. Let me show you how easy it is to extend these wires. And I've done this on so many bars and I've never had problems. This is what I love about Hill Country. So let's say we need to extend this orange and white wire, because remember we took pictures of the wires and we know what color goes inside the Deutsch connector. I can just go right here inside this bag for my year, my make on my bike, and there's an orange and white wire. So only thing I need to do now, I take shrink wrap, I put over the existing wire, I take the new wire, plug it in, look at that solid connection. Then I take my heat shrink over the two connections, making sure to overlap. Then I take my lighter and I lock the heat shrink down. Now I'm gonna do a couple of things to make sure all this is locked together, but for now, I'm just heat shrinking it to the wire, to the color code of the wire from the factory and from my Hill Country Customs kit. And I just keep the lighter moving. The moment I start seeing the impression of the wire, I know that that's connected. And I'm holding it up by the wire, that's a solid connection. So as I let that one cool, I'll pick another wire here. Let's say this black and red wire I want to extend. It's a black and red. I'll take a heat shrink, put that over the top. I go inside my bag. I have a black and red wire. I make my connection. Then I move the heat shrink over the top. I make sure it's connected. I move the heat shrink over. I make sure that it's overlapping. I kind of pull it again, make sure I got even spacing all the way around. And then I lock it down. Make sure you just keep the fire moving so you're not burning that heat shrink and burning your existing wire. And you're looking for the impression of the wire to show up. So I'm gonna take a couple of seconds. And that's it. So now I got those two wires done. I have 4 wires remaining. And I have all the 4 wires right here. So now what I'm going to do off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and extend the rest of these wires. Then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna heat shrink them all together and get them ready to go inside the bars. Stay tuned. Switch gears family, we back. Now we're gonna get to what most people consider difficult. It's not really too hard, just have to have patience. We talked about taking the bars down, replacing your bushing with polyurethane bushings, how to disconnect the Deutsch connectors and pull those wires out. I showed you a little bit on how to extend the wires. So now we're about to take the wires and put them inside the handlebars. So as you can see, I've already done one side. I've already done the left side. So now we're gonna run the cables for the right side. I'm gonna show you how it looks. So basically what I have here is a shoestring and just some fan chain connections that I've lengthened. This is for, I use this on all my bars. So even if I'm doing really tall bars, I got enough chain. And then I have that taped to the end of my wires that I have extended. So I have heat shrink the new wires, and then I also put some electrical tape around the ends of the heat shrink, and here's where it begins at the factory. So now we're ready to drop it in. So super simple. I just start with my chain part because that can work its way around corners. I turn the bars up. I'm going in right here through this hole here. Riding and sliding with JBAKE is gonna get the good angles. So I'm coming in here. I'm just gonna take my time and feed my wire, feed my string through. This is what's gonna work its way through the bars and get it down to the end. All right, now I got that in there. I just turned it upside down. Look at that, it just fell right out the bottom for me. So now, all I gotta do now is start manipulating the wire. So I like to feed with one hand and give a little pull with the other hand. So we're gonna just take our time now and just keep feeding. We haven't really got to the wire yet. Everything from this point is just string. So the only thing we're doing is just feeding it through. So this is why I made my string so long. I don't want to pull on this chain because it'll break, but I want to pull on this string. And really what this string is, let me correct myself. It's not a shoelace, it's 550 cord. Anybody in the military, you know what that means. It's super strong and it's durable and it'll get around corners. So here it is. You want to try to minimize the knots that you have in your cable. That's going to get through the bars easy. So what I'm doing now, I'm just feeding it through until I start feeling resistance. Okay, I got a little resistance right there. So let me try to get it down some. Lift up and just little pulls. Don't start yanking crazy, because remember, you're pulling on the cables for your connectors here. All right, so just trying to make it around that first little bend. So I'm going to start feeding more in through this end. Okay, I can no longer feed, so let's do a little bit of pulling. There it is. I'm just taking my time. You gotta take your time with it. There it is. It's coming. It's got to go through these curves here and then this curve here. And depending on how the bars are made in the inside, it may have some residuals of the inside from the metal, so it could get caught up. Just take your time. One thing I like about these Hill Country bars, they're really smooth in the inside and they make wiring really easy. So as you can see now, I have the first piece of my actual wire coming through. And there's that little knot that we talked about right there. All right, and I'm just moving this one to the side and I'm slowly taking my time. We're almost there. We are almost there. And I'm still pulling and I'm pushing with this hand. And every time I feel it give a little bit, then I'll pull a little bit. There it is. And we're almost at the end. Okay, so we're a little caught up right here. So I'm working in and out, and then give it a little tug right there. And this is that first big knot when we did the extension on the wire. So boom, I just got that part through, and it should be smooth sailing after that. All right. All right, and then I'm gonna come up top, kind of sit my cable where I wanted it, my connector, I mean. All right, there it is. So now we got right side, left side. That's all wired up. Everything is ran internally to the bars. And all we have to do now is come here on this end where we connected our string. Let's see if I can find where that little connection is. See. Okay, right there. Kind of hard to do with the gloves on. All right, pull that tape up. There it is. Exposing our wire. I'm just gonna put that on the floor. And this is where I tie the knot in. Just take this part off. Now I got my string off. I got my wires exposed. I got my wires exposed here. So now we're ready to run the bars back inside of the bike and get ready to hook those Deutsch connectors up. So we're gonna cut for now. I'm gonna go ahead and install the top clamps for the handlebars. And when we bring you back, we'll be putting the handlebars back on and getting ready to run the wires down. All right, Switch Gears family, about to wrap this video up. I showed you how to do the these bushings. We showed you how to extend the cables and then also insert the cables inside the bars. Right now, the bars are all wired up. Only thing we gotta do now is reinsert that connector that we put to the new cable extensions. And let me show you how easy this is. So remember I said it had 1, 2, 3 on it. So what I like to do is take a picture. So I took a picture, and here's labeled, in the picture it says 3, 2, 1. And so here's 3, 2, and 1. So in the picture, it's gonna tell me what color goes to what connector. And remember, the Hill Country connector already had the same color. Matter of fact, I'll pull it out here. So I got this ran for the left side. The Hill Country connection already got the same color. So I know here for spot 3, it should be a all gray wire. I go back here. Here's my all gray wire. And these wires have a little notch in it. That's what's gonna go inside of the connector I'm gonna show you here. So number 3, you just push that in. You're gonna hear it make a little click once it's seated. So here, look at that. Now that's seated. All right, so let's go to the next one. Number 3 is all gray. Number 2 is a red with a white stripe, or red with yellow striping. So we only got one red wire regardless. So we'll take red with the yellow striping, and that's gonna go in connection number 2. I'll push it in. It's gonna come up through the connection. Just take your time with the wires, and it just snapped in. All right, and number 1 is orange with a white stripe. And right here, we have an orange with a white stripe. And just make sure that's going in number 1 connection. And that's one side done. So now I go to my next picture where I took a picture of this side, and this side is 4, 5, and 6. So starting with number 4, it should be a white with a black wire. And remember, the indentation part goes inboard. You'll see it. It's you can't get it disconnected. And there it is. There's a, well, let's make sure. Yep, there's a click. So number 5 should be white with a yellow stripe. And we're just going to take the wire through here so we get better connection into it. And then we're going in here. This little indentation right here on the wire, that's where that little pin sits at that you need to open up to pull back. So you just put that in facing the pin, and you'll get a good connection. Going in, that's it. And lastly, number 6, we got red with a black wire, and that's the only wire we have left. So we're gonna go in, just take your time. There it is. It's coming up through. And good. So as you can see, we got 6 pins all seated. We're gonna take that connection cap. It goes right back in the center. Take your time, make sure our rubber seal. You gotta make sure that those wires stay seated. I got one wire that came out. Just take your time with it. Once you get that connection cap in there, it's going to hold all the wires together. So right now, I'm just pushing the wires up, make sure they got a good connection. Okay, this wire. So this wire here didn't have a good connection because it was facing the opposite direction. So I'm going to turn it around, push it in. There it is. Make sure it's seated. So it's seated. So now, you gotta make sure that this is directly in the center. Because there's still a wire here. And it's gonna let you know if all the wires aren't seated, you're not gonna be able to get this connection in. I'll just take my time. Pick this wire up, push it up. Okay. Now that's a good connection. Push this one up. That's a good connection. Oh, there it is. So as soon as I got all the wires, it's seated and it's snapped in. So now we're ready to connect. So let me bring you here on the bike. We're gonna have to do a little bit of wire management because we did extend the wires. But as you bring this down, these here need to stay exposed so that way you can see the color combination on them. It's gonna go right inside of that connection here, and then we're gonna take this and pop it right back inside of this factory connection. So as you can see, remember when I said those wires need to stay exposed? As you can see right here on the factory harness, they don't run tape all the way down because those wires need to be able to move freely. But as you can see, orange to orange, red to red. So we know that we're on the right side. This one is dark gray on this side and it's light gray on the other side. So now, all we need to do now is I'll run a little wire management. Remember, this is going to be behind the tank. I'm going to do a little zip tie when I get all the wires together. So that's the right side. So now the right side is connected. We're going to go on the left side and do the same thing. You guys will need to see that. It's going to be the same process. And theoretically, the bars are wired up and they're ready to go. Besides me doing some zip ties and some wire management, that's how you install bars. So we went from factory to now we got some nice 14-inch ape hangers, all chrome, internal wires ran. Only thing we need to do now is the next video, we're going to be running the clutch cable, the brake, and also your throttle wires behind your air cleaner. And we're going to be installing a stage 1 aftermarket air cleaner, so stay tuned for that. Right now we got bars on. We're going to get through doing some wiring up behind the scenes. The bars will be totally wired. The next video you guys will see, and then we'll be getting ready to install this other cable. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check my man out, Riding and Sliding with JBAKE. Riding and Sliding with JBAKE. I'm going to put his name in the video somewhere in here so you can see it. Please go to show him some love. I would love to thank him for coming out, with spending his time and recording this for you guys, because I definitely could use the help. So I'll try to get you guys some of the better shots so you can actually see what I'm doing. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Shout out to whoever won, because I don't know yet. I haven't put that video out. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll be wrapping this bike up here in the next couple of videos, and we can get out and do some cruising on it. Stay tuned. Hey, special thanks out to Riding and Sliding with JBAKE. Thanks for coming over to the Switching Gears Garage, helping us out. Go to his channel, drop him a like, drop him a subscribe. Thanks for watching.